Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Erik Spoelstra, going into Game 2 after Game 1 of the NBA Finals, made several changes to his roster and to his game plan in order to succeed and in order to take that Game 2 and going forward to hopefully win the NBA Finals for the Miami Heat. And one of the key changes they made is giving Kevin Love minutes. Kevin Love went from getting 0 minutes in Game 1 to having 22 minutes in Game 2 and having a significant impact. Even though he did not shoot great in this game and only had 6 points, he ended up having 10 rebounds. Let me tell you guys about Kevin Love's rebounding prowess, how he's still a phenomenal rebounder even though he's very old, and let me put into perspective how good prime Kevin Love was at rebounding. Kevin Love did not get all that much PT this year for the Miami Heat in the regular season. Even though he did not get a lot of playing time, he still led the Miami Heat in a key statistical category. And this statistical category is rebounds per 36 minutes. When you look at a guy like Kevin Love and you want to determine who the best rebounders are in the NBA, some guys like Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, for example, get a lot of minutes per game, so their stats are going to be very inflated, whereas you look at guys like DeAndre Drummond and Kevin Love, don't get all that much minutes, but they're still incredible rebounders. So these per 36 minute stats averages all of these minutes together and gives us a really good idea of who are some of the best rebounders per game. And this season, Kevin Love was 21st in rebounds per 36 minutes, which would make him number 1 on the Miami Heat above Bam Adebayo. So Kevin Love had 11.6 rebounds per 36 minutes this year, and Bam Adebayo, for reference, was at 9.5, even though Bam Adebayo is known to be one of the better rebounders in the NBA. Also, for reference, Nikola Jokic had 12.7 rebounds per 36, so that is only 1 rebound more per 36 minutes than Kevin Love this season. Now, this of course did not come out of nowhere. Kevin Love has always been known, even dating back to his UCLA days coming into the NBA, he's always been known as an incredible rebounder. This is a guy at the power forward position, young and early into his career with the Timberwolves, averaged the most rebounds per game. He averaged 15.2 rebounds per game in the 2010 to the 2011 season. Kevin Love also has 7 seasons averaging over 10 rebounds a game, and he has a lot of seasons in there where he was just teetering that 10 mark, but he did not get there because of the lack of minutes that he ended up playing. Now, this tenacious, really knows for the basketball that Kevin Love has always had, this bruising mentality has definitely been somewhat of a detriment to his career, as he's constantly been injured throughout his career, and the majority of his injuries, such as his shoulder injuries and his hand injuries, have been because of him being so tenacious on those boards and being so physical on the box outs. In Kevin Love's 16-year career, he has never had a season averaging less than 10 rebounds a game per 36 minutes, which is absolutely incredible. Most guys don't even play 16 years in his career, and especially when you're looking at rebounders and rebounders who are undersized. Kevin Love is a guy who's 6'8". Most guys I would be describing who are these incredible rebounders are 7-footers and don't have to use as much as their physicality to get rebounds. Rather, they use their physicality and their length, whereas Kevin Love is solely using his physicality, which makes that longevity stat of 16 years straight averaging over 10 rebounds a game per 36 minutes all the more impressive. Now, for this video, I was compiling a bunch of stats, and this last stat, guys, absolutely blew my mind, and I wanted to save it for the end of the video. I compiled the top 50 highest rebounders per 36 minutes of all time. Now, before you guys can even guess, of course, Bill Russell is number 1 on that list, but I counted out all 50 guys, and out of all of the 50 top highest rebounders per 36 minutes in NBA history, there are only 4 non-centers on this entire list. So for 46 out of 50 of these guys to be centers and mainly 7-footers, and for Kevin Love to be one of 4 players who doesn't fit that description of being a 7-footer and being a center is absolutely incredible. I'm sure you guys could guess the first name on this list who is a non-center. It is, of course, Dennis Rodman, notorious for being arguably the best rebounder in NBA history. The second guy is a childhood classic for me, Reggie Evans. He was a guy who was always like a 70 overall in NBA 2K, but he'd have maxed out rebounding stats, which is why I would always pick him up for my bench, and he'd give me a good 10 minutes a night, getting about 5 rebounds in those 10 minutes. Reggie Evans, all kidding aside, was an incredible rebounder at that power forward position. Of course, the third guy on this list is Kevin Love, and then the last guy is absolutely incredible as well. He was kind of known as the best small forward of all time before Dr. J, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James came along, and I'm of course talking about Elgin Baylor. Absolutely incredible that Elgin Baylor is on that list as well. I did just want to briefly, though, in today's video, touch upon Kevin Love's rebounding prowess and why it's very relevant today and why it's very relevant to this series, because Nikola Jokic is obviously always going to get an insane amount of rebounds every game. There's really nothing the Miami Heat can do to stop this. They simply don't have the personnel to stop this. But if you can have Kevin Love in there giving you about 10 rebounds a game in about 25 minutes a game, it does absolute wonders for the Miami Heat, because you're preventing guys like Aaron Gordon, MPJ, and Bruce Brown to get going on the rebounds. So if you're the Miami Heat and you can have a guy like Kevin Love out-rebound every single player on the floor except Nikola Jokic, you are then going to win the rebound battle and thus have an inherent advantage in this series. Thanks for listening, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Kevin Love and his rebounding prowess, and do the Miami Heat have a good chance of winning this finals now that they've found Kevin Love's rebounding prowess to be a real issue for the Denver Nuggets in this series?